Boom. Chip. Alright, so... Well, like I said, the problem is that it takes about 25 to 30 seconds for our stream to actually start up because I haven't slowed down. So, give it another... I'd say give it another 20 seconds, Nick, and it might show up. I love the fact that I didn't get any comments about my hair. Not a single comment about it.
My girlfriend just dyed her.
Yeah, but remember, I told people, hey, if you want to see it, say something. Nobody said anything. Not a single comment about my hair. There was a comment about Nick screwing up the title of a video game. But no comment about what color my hair should be. Anyways, it looks like we're up. Nick, are you getting us?
Not yet.
All right. Well, you tell me when you get us. You can see Brandon peeking over my shoulder. All right. Well, good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. Thank you for joining us once again, the Monsters of Gaming. I'm Kaiju K. To the left of me is Subliminal.
Hey, everybody.
Siskel.
Hi.
Ebert.
I am the traitor.
And Anti-Michael Bay. Or Kaiju K. And we're bringing you this episode to bring you up something that's really been getting on my nerves recently, and that is the lack of good movies that have been coming out. And seriously, there has been a lack of good movies coming out. All these blockbuster movies, oh, they're grossing X number of dollars, but they're not good movies. Basically anything that Michael Bay has ever made other than Armageddon, for example. I'll give you credit for Armageddon, Michael, but everything else has just been after that.
What about his porn?
It's been shit. It's really close up, it's dark, you can't see who's doing it, there's always explosions. Did this pop up yet?
No.
No, I'll just make sure that we are still running. Yeah, it says we're offline. The FARC?
You haven't been online.
Yeah, but I was online.
Not according to anything else.
According to this.
Same, not according to mine.
Boo, Senpai! I've become bored already. Let's get this party started. Make it rainbow. Too late! I told everybody they had till tonight. Nobody wrote down anything, so... No hair color change. Sorry. And you had the perfect chance, Rebel. You had the perfect chance. You literally live next door. So anyways, folks. We're going to be talking about the worst films ever. Now, past, present, and even future are allowed. There is no loss of anything if you think an animated movie sucked, an anime sucked, as long as it was a movie, not a series. Obviously, I can't say Smallville sucked because that wasn't a movie. I can, however, say things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer sucked because it was a movie, although that movie did rule. So I can't really say that. So. One of the biggest things I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking a lot about, well, Marvel movies. Oh, who am I kidding? They're awesome. I'm going to be talking about DC. DC has had a long history of not being able to make anything actually concrete. What I mean by this is they take a movie and they get the principle and they're like, okay, here we go. Batman. The Dark Knight. We're going to go edgy. We're going to go dark and gloomy because no other Batman movie has ever been dark and gloomy.
Totally.
And what we're going to do is we're basically going to say, okay, so this is the beginning of the story of Dark Knight, and then we're just going to go wee, and we're just going to cut up into a bunch of pieces, and we're just going to throw it down, and we're going to hope it makes a movie. Well, all three of the Dark Knight movies, in my personal opinion, sucked. And let's not get started about Batman versus Superman. I could go on and on, but I'm going to literally go for what I consider to be the worst of the DC movies. The worst DC movie to ever come out, the most recent Fantastic Four. No, you are right, Rebel. Joker is a badass. Just not any of the recent encryptions. Victoria, go do something then. Anyway, so the big thing that I hated about the most recent Fantastic Four is just how far off from the story they pushed it. They literally just pushed it as far out into the middle of the ocean as possible. She's sitting out front alone, apparently. No, oh, well, sorry. Anyway, for instance, Doctor Doom. He's had many reincarnations. He in some cases he was one of the scientists who went with Fantastic Four. In others, he was literally the leader of his own country. In the most recent one, he was a hacker.
What?
Yeah, in the most recent one, he was a hacker.
Yep.
That's the
Most recent one, he was a hack.
Yeah, he was a hacker.
They did a reboot.
So they wouldn't lose the copyright on it.
Yeah.
Then they made Susan Storm's stepbrother, not stepbrother.
Not his actual brother.
Not her actual brother, but her stepbrother, Johnny Storm, by the way, he's supposed to be her brother. And, you know, I have nothing wrong with typecasting. I have nothing wrong with picking people of a different color. I just want them to sit down and explain to me how those two are brother and sister. I'm not even talking color, I'm just talking the way they act in the movie. They literally act like some guy that's trying to pick up some chick.
Yep.
Yeah, that brother and sister my arse, they're from the South. You can get down now.
She yelled Cody.
Yeah. You know, and then of course the Thing, they literally took away the Thing. The Thing was just this, he was a big goofy looking guy, okay? Made of stone, and they made him look like Groot almost. The storyline was stupid. What?
That's a rebel.
Jared Leto is the man, and I like his relationship, his rendition of the Joker. I'm sorry you have to say that. Because I guarantee you the Suicide Squad is going to be on the list of things we insult by the end of the movie. By the end of the night. I think the one thing that truly upset me more than anything is that Fox even said after they created the movie, they didn't want it to make money, they just wanted to save the franchise so they didn't have to give it up. That's it. That's how they directed the movie.
Are you talking about Suicide Squad? Or?
No. Just still the Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, okay.
That's how it was. They were just like, we just didn't want to lose the title, so we made a movie. We didn't care what it was. Or you could have just made a good movie.
I did actually like the one actor from the old Fantastic, Michael Chiklis, as the Thing.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Listen, hey, he made a perfect Ben Grimm. I don't care what anybody says. He is that character.
Listen, the movie sucked. There was nothing about that movie that was good.
Now.
That's just what sucks. All the Fantastic Four movies combined couldn't squeeze out a turd that would be worth it.
I don't care about the movie itself. I just thought he made a good Ben Grimm.
Lots of actors could have made a good Ben Grimm.
But name one that was better than Michael Chiklis.
I could definitely see Goldberg being a better actor.
Not Goldberg.
Look, he's a big, giant, buff guy. What is the Thing? A big, giant, buff guy who's always angry. What is Goldberg?
Yeah, but Goldberg's not as good
especially
an
for
actor
the
as Michael Chiklis. Michael Chiklis had more roles though.
Like yes, but with
he's a better overall actor. I mean, I'm not saying that Goldberg can't play the physical part of it.
Anyways, as these two continue this conversation, that's my idea of a bad movie. We're not talking about one actor. We're talking about the movie. It doesn't matter how good the one actor was in a bad movie. Well, it's still a shit movie.
I never said it made a good movie. I just said that
We're not talking about good. We could talk about good actors in bad movies on another night. Subliminal, throw a bad movie at us.
Oh, what was that one I was talking to you earlier about? I can't remember exactly. I think it was an animation style movie. The rip-off Aladdin. We're not actually excluding rip-offs either.
No, I said any movie.
So the rip-off version of Aladdin.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god, it's horrible. Basically, what they did is they tried stealing the story. That way, they could try and have it go good beforehand, because you have to have their product out first. That way, they get money off it because it's Aladdin. And I mean, it did probably sell a lot of movies to the children and everything because.
Well, the only problem I have with this is, has anyone seen the rip-off Aladdin?
Well, I was gonna say, are you talking about
Are you talking about like the King of Thieves, the sequel, or are you talking an actual rip-off?
It was the rip-off of the first one, I think.
Okay, so
Was it the one where like they reversed the roles? It was a prince, and then there was the girl who was the street.
I think that's the one I'm talking about.
Because I know what movie he's talking. I know a couple of them actually, but I just know I've forgotten their names. One is friggin'
Keep your pants on, Violet, unless you're walking up here. Anyway.
the one because in the one movie the main character, he's like a stitcher, and he gets called by the princess, and it's like the same formula where it's just like the princess comes in, the advisor's trying to take over the castle, and then the stitcher just comes in. He has kind of like a JoJo ability where he's just able to like stitch all this yarn together. And
I know what movie you're talking about.
This sounds like Shaolin soccer all
like
of a sudden.
Jack into something, all right. And then there was another one where it was just the roles are reversed. Instead of the street rat is a guy, the street rat's a girl, and then there was a prince who was going around, and like there was some kind. And then there was like instead of a genie, he gains like he basically gains this power, and he tries to like flood the palace or something like that, and then the girl does some kind of bullshit.
Chucky might not spelled.
Oh, we can talk about those. Yeah. So you just what was about the movie that you didn't like?
I think I'm talking about the one where the kid gets tricked by his uncle or something to go into the... Yeah, it was like a King of Thieves one, you're right. Because he goes into the cave and starts taking the gold and everything, and then he basically gets locked in and everything.
Okay, well, what did you like about it?
It just was horrible quality. Nothing was on time with the animation itself.
Well, you see, that's the problem with rip-off movies. They're usually of a really poor quality, but you can't judge them against something like the Transformers movies, who just sucked because Michael Bay's a horrible actor or director. You know what I mean?
Right.
Necro.
The Transformer movies. Thanks for leading me into that one.
And segue.
Well, let's see. If it's written down, why change it?
Well,
that's the first part I got.
Well, you could talk about that with any video game movie too.
Well, yes. But
the thing about the Transformer movies that I thought sucked is the same thing that sucks about any movie that they try to make big budget in America. And that's right, I'm saying America. Let's take a look at Transformers. Transformers is a very basic storyline. It's basically the Civil War. One side is anti-slavery, aka the Autobots. One side is all for making human slaves, the Decepticons. And they're fighting it out, and they're trying to kill each other.
Yep.
And every now and then there's a human in there. That's the cartoon, the comic book, the video games, that's how it was.
Yep.
But in the movies, it's 70% fucking humans complaining, screaming, bitching, and whining. 30% of attempts at fight scenes that are way too close up and you can't tell what the hell's going on.
Yep.
The rest of that percentage was spent on Megan Fox.
Yeah, and the rest of the money left over was Megan Fox.
Pretty much.
But I fully agree with you on that one, Necro. They've all sucked so far. In fact, the reason why I haven't gone to see Age of Extinction or The Final Night is because they're the same movie. It's the same thing every time. They make no attempts at changing the storyline around. The final fight always happens within the last 10 minutes of the movie, and it's always Optimus Prime winning with some kind of bullshit jumbo move that he probably couldn't do because he's a giant freaking robot. Brandon, bad movie.
Yes, sir. Bad movie.
Yes, bad movie.
All right. Well, let's just start off with another obvious one. Dragon Ball Evolution.
Ooh.
That one hit me home.
Ooh, Dragon Ball Evolution
and
sucked.
The worst part for me, though, I was willing to give it a shot. Because
it hits me right here.
I never watched it. I tried to avoid reviews about it, but I couldn't. But obviously, since I frequent YouTube, that went about as as well as you would expect. Everybody was blowing up saying that. It's the same thing I found. That's why I found out about the Mass Effect 3, the Mass Effect 3 ending early, where everyone was blowing up. It sucked. And the same thing on YouTube. Dragon Ball Evolution. It sucked.
But it did. It did suck.
I know it did. I know it did suck because I eventually caved and said, "All right, I'm just gonna watch the review or whatever."
I ended up watching it on TV, not even knowing about it.
Yeah, in fact, if they would have taken out the names of the characters,
let me ask you a question though, because you brought this up
movie.
a bit earlier. What? How do you take something that you basically already have the groundwork for, okay? And then people try to defend. Well, it was a new idea at the time. They were saying, well, they were trying to a new idea, and it's like it's Dragon Ball. Why would you take away? Why would you include? It's like it's not even just a new idea. You took it and revamped it into like this
your own little storyline.
Yep.
Your own.
You know what a new idea is? Make Goku female. That's a new idea. Give Goku purple hair. That's a new idea. Completely destroying the entire storyline just so you can try to sell a quick buck. That is not a new idea. That's been happening in Hollywood for years.
It's like it just flabbergasts me to this day that, like you said, that they have the entirety of like a story written out. All they got to do is just figure out how to just chop it down and make it into like an actual story. You know, just for movie
right.
time or whatever. Because I get it. You can't tell the entire story of fucking Dragon Ball in like one fucking movie.
Right, but if you made it good enough,
right,
you could set it up for sequels.
Exactly. You know.
But they didn't want that.
And
of course not.
They went in making the movie 100% knowing it was going to suck, and they just slapped the title on. And you know what? It's happened before. For instance, good example, Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Oh, God.
Okay? The reason people went to see the movie is because the title said Final Fantasy. That's what people went to see.
That's exactly why I went.
However, if you would have simply called it The Spirits Within,
wouldn't have made it any better.
No, because then people wouldn't have gone with such high expectations.
No, it still would have been a crap
Which
movie.
one was The Spirits Within?
That's the CGI one where they're trying to find the spirits from the ghost monsters.
And then,
okay.
yeah, it's the one at the ending where she's like, the final ghost was in me all along. I'm cured, but everyone else is fucking dead.
Yeah,
including the
only
guys.
Anime or CGI one that I watched was the one about 7.
Well, yeah, that's Advent Children. We're not talking about good movies, Nick.
Right.
We're talking about bad movies.
I was just saying the one that I saw. That was it. I love that one.
I thought Advent Children was okay-ish.
Well, the good thing about Advent Children is it really had nothing going against it. Nobody knew what happened to the group afterwards. There was no explanation. Even the manga ends at the same point. The manga ends with Naniki and his children watching over the Mako reactor. It stopped, so there was room to expand. However, if you would have said, we're going to make a Final Fantasy live-action movie starting from the very beginning, you just know that everyone who's going to see that movie has their expectations here.
Well, yeah, because then, the only reason, though, is because afterwards they expanded on, like, the kind of the missing details about it. Like how what was the virus, the Genesis?
The Genesis virus.
Genesis virus, yeah, came to be, like where Genesis still was, because you know, if you haven't played the end of Final Fantasy VIII, Dirge of Cerberus, or no, Final Fantasy VII, I'm sorry, Dirge of Cerberus,
right?
You know, you wouldn't have realized, oh, Genesis is still alive. Well, who the fuck is Genesis?
Right.
And then you have to play Crisis Core to find out who Genesis is.
But once again, it's just you're slapping the title in front of it and you're hoping to ride to posterity.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks. Because that literally makes a bad movie. I'll give you a bad series of movie that was just bad from the beginning. The entire Child's Play series.
Yep.
Child's Play 1, 2, 3, The Bride of Chucky, The Seed of Chucky, and now the brand new one coming out, The Curse of Chucky. Let's start from the beginning. Chucky is not a threatening monster at all.
Nope.
Nothing about him. He has no superhuman strength. He doesn't have superhuman agility. He is quite literally a doll.
I can punt the fucker for fun.
Yeah, sure, he ambushes people, but a lot of time people spend all their time screaming without realizing he's literally 9 pounds of plastic. You can grab him by the top of his head and bounce him around the room, and no harm's coming to you.
Yep.
Somehow, in I think it was 3, he somehow swapped out paintball guns for real guns for children. Now, I don't know if the people at home have ever seen a paintball gun, but it does not look like an actual gun. It doesn't. There are completely different makes. There's a CO2 tank. There's usually a big old floater.
The nozzle's kind of smaller.
Yeah. You know, it usually has tubes going in and out of it. It's usually bright colors. In the scene of Chucky, his son turns out to be, what was he, gay or bi? I can't remember what the ending was. But it's like, he got upset about that. Chucky's not a vicious creature. He's not. He's trying to get into a kid's body. He's like Herbert the pervert. He's just trying to get into a little boy's body as hard as he can. Only one of them's likable, and one of them's a doll. And the entire series makes no sense to me. If you cannot make a threatening movie monster, do not make 5 freaking sequels for it.
No.
Do you know why movies like Aliens and Jaws made sequels? Because those are threatening monsters.
Right.
Lake Placid, sequels. Piranha 3D and 3 Double D and the future 3 Triple D that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, they did the same thing, like, you know, with Chucky, where it was just like, for whatever reason, people liked those movies, and so they figured, hey, our numbers are mediocre enough, we could pop out another fucking sequel.
Well, yeah, but mediocre. You don't want mediocre. Like, that's what a lot of the Hollywood people are doing nowadays. They're just going, we just need to get money. Whatever happened to the George Lucases? The ones who would sit up there and they'd be like so happy that they crushed the competition.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, the last time Steven Spielberg was on stage, he basically told everybody he knew he won this one because he saw all the other movies he was up against. How does that make you feel as a director? Well, I made money off it, so it doesn't bother me. Fuck you, Bay. And Michael Bay was the one that said it best. He said, it doesn't matter how bad my movies are, you'll pay to see them. He said it in a live press conference. He said that people are so stupid that even if they don't like his movies, it doesn't matter because they'll still go to see them. They'll still buy the merchandise. They'll still buy the movies.
Because I was telling you in the last conversation, you know, because it's the only giant robot Transformer movie, you know, because there's no other giant robot Transformer movies.
I don't know. Power Rangers just recently came out.
Well, yeah, Power Rangers though, but I mean, I'm talking about movies like
Pacific Rim.
And it's
the same exact thing. You have all the humans for the most part, and then you have a little bit of robot.
Yeah, but once again, though, that's just it. Everyone thinks that's the way they want the story, but look at this. How many blocks, I'm talking big hits, I'm talking giant hits, have recently had that storyline? I'll give you an answer. 0.
Like I said, there's no competition.
Well, right, but there's no attempt at making a good movie either.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Like,
well, I was saying what my point is. It's just like, if there's no competition, then of course Michael Bay could just sit there and say, oh well, I don't really give a fuck. Like exactly what you just said, because there's no other Ninja Turtle movie, there's no other, you know, giant robot Transformer movies, unless you want to.
No, that's not why he said it. He said it because as long as the title has something like Transformers or Turtles, people will see it.
And he got away with it. What I'm saying is because there's no competition.
No, it's the truth. It's Jerry marketing. Why did Mario Brothers get so many people to see it? Because it had what in its title?
Yeah.
Mario Brothers.
There was no other movie like it at the time. No competition. But people went to see it because it had what in the title?
Yeah, because you're always...
Look at all the Resident Evil flicks that came out.
Yeah.
None of them are good.
Well,
They're all shit. But because they have Resident Evil in the title, people will go and see them. That's what it is. Nick even raised his hand. He knows it. Look at Underworld. Underworld, first one. Great movie. I liked it. I loved the first Underworld. Every other fucking Underworld after it has been the same fucking movie.
Yep.
She gets her ass kicked. She gains some kind of superpower that she didn't have before, and she beats the bad guy with one hit. Every one of them.
Right.
But people go to see them because the title says
Underworld.
Thank you. It has nothing to do with no competition. People are going to it because it says it. They could make a My Little Pony movie about crackheads. Guess what? People are going to go see it. You know why? Not because there's crackheads in it.
Well,
because it's My Little Pony.
Because either they're going to want to riff on it, or they're going to want to just see how much of a disaster it is. That's another thing.
Well, yes, but most people go to see these movies because of the title. That's why if you look on IMDb for a lot of these movies, it's parents saying, hey, I took my kids to go see a Power Rangers movie and this thing sucked.
But the other side of that is just other movie reviewers saying that, you know, how much bullshit it is, too.
And are they wrong?
No, they're not wrong. I'm just saying that the reason why that can account for most of the views. But what I'm saying is that, like I was saying before,
you're trying to argue a point that Michael Bay basically said straight out. He didn't say because there was no competition.
I'm arguing against the fact that the reason he gets away with this is because that nobody attempts to try and make a movie to.
But see, we're not saying that.
We're just saying what he said.
Yeah, we're saying what he said exactly.
He could make a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles about a homestead kid, and people will go see it. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's about a homestead kid, not because people want to riff on it, because the title says Mutant Ninja Turtles. Same reason why all those people went to literally see Final Fantasy Spirits Within. I'm one of them. The entire audience with me were people that went to go see a Final Fantasy film. It was one of the worst films I have ever had the chance to see.
Oh, I bet children knew better.
And we walked away from it. In fact, most of the people demanded their money back. Why did we go to see it, though? I didn't go to see it to riff on it. I didn't go to see it because there was no competition for it. I went to see it because it said motherfucking Final Fantasy in the title. That's it. And Michael Bay said it himself. He could say, I'm going to go make the next Slender Man movie and have it about a basketball player. People will go seeing it because it has Slender Man in the title. That's what it is.
But he also knows that there's no other person that's making a Slender Man movie.
Well, probably because he bought out the rights for it.
I'm just saying.
Like, you can't make another Transformers movie because they have the rights for it.
Right.
Subliminal. Bad movie.
You're taking all my bad movie.
Bad movie, don't give me that. I know there's more.
Half-Baked. It was an okay movie, but...
We're not looking for okay movies. We're looking for the worst you've seen.
The problem is, everything was way too obvious that it was fake.
So would you consider it one of the worst films you've ever seen?
iRobot.
Thank you.
iRobot, yeah.
Okay, well, what didn't you like about iRobot?
It was too obvious that he was a robot playing as a person.
Who?
What? Will Smith?
No, he just had a fake arm.
He just had a fake arm.
Yeah.
He wasn't a robot. He just had a fake arm. The bad guy was the AI.
Yeah.
The AI for the building was the bad guy. Even Buddy turned out to be a good guy. Well, technically, I mean, he did kill his master, but it's only because he was ordered to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's a bad movie, in my opinion, due to the fact that it's, like, one of the most obvious things in the world. Okay, Will Smith's driving down the road in his car. Then a robot fucking semi-trailer pulls in front of him and another one behind him. These robots jump out and begin whooping the shit out of him. Hundreds of these things, and they don't believe that the robots attacked him. They believe that one man with a pistol took out an army of these robots that are later on seen throwing, train cars and shit. No. This man with a single 9mm with only 18 rounds maximum took out the other 100. No, of course not.
He did a lot of trick shots,
This is not Overwatch. You gotta go, it's high noon, and then just gun them down. It doesn't work that way.
Nope.
Are you sure?
He's not Vash the Stampede. He did not transform his robot arm into a major laser and begin wasting people.
The only major thing was that when he was falling down the fucking thing, and then he needed to grab onto the thing, so he used his fake arm to screech to a halt.
That's pretty bad. Especially since it probably would have ripped the arm off his body. He was almost at terminal velocity by the time he grabbed onto that wall. If he didn't rip that arm out of his body, he would have definitely gone and done some serious damage to this area.
Right.
He would not have been able to move. Searing pain is what we would have saw. But I do agree, it wasn't the best movie. It definitely had horrific amounts of flaws. And basically the only reason the movie stayed afloat is because it had a few decent actors in it and Will Smith.
Right. Anyone will go see a movie with Will Smith in it.
That's another thing bad movies do. They get a bunch of good actors and throw them in.
Yep.
Nick, bad movie, go.
Can't throw Suicide Squad out there.
I was waiting for somebody to touch it, I just didn't want to do it.
Well, okay. Yes, I know in the comics there are different renditions where Suicide Squad did have the Joker and some did not. The one I was used to was the Joker being dead, and that's why Harley Quinn joined the Suicide Squad because she had no other purpose.
Right.
And for them not to go off one of the more popular storylines of the comics.
Oh, but they have to make it dark because all of DC is dark now.
Yeah, Jay Leto's not fucking dark at all.
Actually, the thing that really pissed me off about that movie is finding out that they literally deleted over an hour's worth of his movie.
Yeah.
There were things that he did in the movie that he was talking about online that were fucking amazing.
I agree.
You know, he takes out like 6 guards with a pen and a knife at one point.
Oh, I would have definitely loved it if it did that.
Right, but no, instead they spend the first 30 minutes of the movie talking about each individual character and a short idea of their storyline.
Yep.
Literally the first 30 minutes is them just sitting there at a table explaining each character.
To be honest, if they would have left that hour in and not mess with it, I would have paid extra bucks to watch it.
I wouldn't have, but I would have definitely probably enjoyed it more. I mean, the Nostalgia Critic said it best. You know, so what you're going to do is you're going to stop Superman by bringing out a bunch of mediocre villains that don't have any powers capable of stopping Superman.
Except for Enchantress, maybe.
Well, what about Enchantress? well, the thing is, she takes time to be able to cast her spells.
Exactly.
And he's faster than a speeding bullet. Well, what's Harley Quinn here for? Fan service.
Pretty much all.
I mean, originally she was the leader of the group, but she was only in there for the trueness of fan service and to eventually kill the Joker, rip off his face, put it on Deadshot's face, and have a conversation.
Yep.
Which is quite creepy if you ask me, but still. But no, they had to bring the love story in. They had to bring the Joker in, which was one of the worst renditions of Joker I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen Gotham.
I don't think Gotham had it. Between him and Leto, I think it was a better performance in Gotham than it was in Suicide Squad.
Yep, until they ruined it by even mentioning the fact that that wasn't even the real Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's 3 Jokers now.
Yeah.
Or apparently,
Yeah.
from what I heard.
Apparently he's not even the real Joker. He's just one of the Joker's stooges. And there's another Joker that's not the real Joker either. But then there's the third Joker that's actually running everything. Because that makes fucking sense.
Yes, yes it does.
No, because the Joker, the clown prince of crime and chaos.
In a way, though, and this is kind of outside what you're saying, I do get why people do prefer Jared Leto's Joker. I was about to say Leno. But
we're gonna have a good time. I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm really gonna hurt you. Big show right down tonight.
So, I get it, but he's just preferably for me. It's just I would rather go with. I thought the best performance for me was mostly Jack Nicholson.
Yes,
Joker.
Jack Nicholson was the best live screen.
But that's because me and you are old school though.
Right. Well, if you want to get technical, I think the best rendition of Joker has been done by Luke Skywalker himself.
Mark Hamill.
Yes. And that was the animated one. I would love to see Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to see him painted up like the Joker. He is the Joker.
Yep.
He says the Joker, if he was to describe the Joker to somebody, he would describe the Joker as the complete opposite of Luke Skywalker in every way, shape, and form.
He could be in Suicide Squad. They could still cast him.
No, they can't, because after the first Suicide Squad, he said he wouldn't be in the second.
He wouldn't be in the second.
No, he said after how badly they butchered it, he's probably not going to touch any DC.
Well, I mean, come back and save it then, or try to.
No. Once you butcher a movie that bad, it's hard to bring it back.
I guess it would.
Need I remind you of the dreaded Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3?
Oh.
Well, they ruined that with fucking what the hell was it? They ruined.
Fire cannon as he pulls his head in the shell. You missed me.
With all the catchphrases and shit from the other fucking movies.
Another thing I hated about the Suicide Squad is, you have someone as powerful as the Enchantress.
Yep.
Who has the ability to literally muddle your mind, or set you on fire, or blow you up, read the comics. She is not a weak character whatsoever. In fact, other than Batman, the only person that's ever been shown to successfully beat her over and over again is the Flash. And for the reason that she takes time to cast a spell, which is kind of the thing the Flash doesn't let you do. I'm gonna cast this. Poof! Sorry, I couldn't hear you over the sound of my fist embedding into your stomach. The only reason Superman's never taken her on is because Superman was never put in a series where she was actually a threat to him.
That reminds me. Out of all the villains that they could have pulled from, you would think that someone as smart as Amanda Waller is, or with as much information. What happened to Metallo?
Well, there's one. Metallo. What?
Literally powered by kryptonite. Literally was built to destroy Superman.
What about the Deathstroke, the Terminator?
Deathstroke, yeah.
He's another member of the group. How about King Shark? He was another member. He's fought Superman before. Solomon Grande, he fought him.
Solomon Grande, yeah.
Yeah, they had all these characters. She described it as the only way to stop Superman is to use villains. And the only villains she could come up with were mostly villains that fought the Flash. Not saying the Flash is bad, but his rogue gallery ain't exactly flying full of people.
No.
He's got the man who throws boomerangs, the man that's good with ropes, the man who can make the ground slippery, the man who can create ice cream. I mean, seriously. And Harley Quinn, because, yes, Harley Quinn, someone who's probably as strong as one of us, maybe.
And the supervillain whose only relevance is that he stole technology from another supervillain.
Yeah.
And that's his whole thing. Captain Cold.
I mean, these are the ones that are going to stop Superman.
That's his whole thing. I stole Mr. Freeze's gun, and now I'm Captain Cold.
Yeah.
Apparently Victoria's missing.
Hey, Victoria, where are you? She's probably still sitting outside by herself.
Listen, we're talking about all these superhero movies, but
right.
You know what movie was really trash that actually killed a kind of like a subsection of movies now and then? What about parody movies? Let's talk about Scary Movie 4.
Well,
or 3.
The thing about parody movies is they're meant to be bad, though. Like, they're never meant to be
so
good.
bad, though, that they're not even funny.
Well,
like,
was that the one where they were making fun of the Happening? Or not the Happening, the Signs?
That was 3.
That was 3?
That was... No, okay, I'm talking about 4 then. The one where they were making fun of the superhero movies with Drake.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You,
that was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. That was pretty bad. But, I mean, it was...
I thought...
It's hard to argue those ones when they're designed specifically to be bad, you know?
Well, there are good parody movies when you at least compare it to other good... What's up?
No, I was just seeing if there's any more comments. I'm also seeing if I can see Cody. There's Cody right there. See Cody, everybody? Say hi to Cody.
Hi, Cody. Hi, Cody.
Look at his ears perk up. Everybody loves me! Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from, you know.
I just feel like that it fell out of touch so bad, but then it just
Apparently
decided...
she left her.
She left me. I'm sorry to hear that. Keep going.
But like, it just fell out of like it fell out of place with like parody movies just going downhill in general. Like for me, I thought that it did that since Scary Movie 3, which it 3 wasn't that bad to me. It wasn't that bad. Like 4 was when I was like, yeah, this is extremely stale, and you can see that too with the other Dwayne brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Because I keep forgetting they made that Haunted Mansion one that was based off of Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And then they did the other one where,
you know, now that I think about it, because I was just actually, these movies actually just came to mind. I had other ones. I should have just looked them up some more because now I'm feeling like an idiot. But you get what I'm saying.
I know what you're trying to say, yeah.
All right, but let's just stick to Scary Movie 4. I didn't think it was a very good parody movie, even for what it was.
How about what they
Usually
did
that
to Chucky?
series is a little better than that.
Rebel Vanity, you missed that part. We already tore Child's Play apart.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a while back, actually. That was a while back. Cody Carmine said hi. No, just gonna sit there on the floor. Fine. You know, now one thing is like I've never been a big fan of horror movies because I find that a lot of them are just cheap, stupid, and basically not worth your time to go see. But if there is one horror movie series that I can't stand anymore, it's Saw. I find the Saw movies to be ridiculously stupid.
I stopped after 3.
I didn't even go past 1. 1 was good. 1 was a new movie. 1 was something fresh. And then that was it. It's literally the same issue with, say, Underworld. It's the same movie. Every single time. You were bad. You were naughty. You tried to commit suicide. Well, I want to play a game with you.
Hey, Kyle, just remember, if you have a criticism about anything that Uwe Boll was part of, you have to challenge him to a boxing match.
All right, I'll challenge you to a boxing match.
He's willing to box all his critics.
I'll give you the location, too. Just don't mind the sudden whistling sounds afterwards.
Kyle's just like, okay, and then he just... It's kind of like an Iroh moment from Avatar, where Kyle's just doing all these push-ups or whatever, and he looks like he's fat, but then he takes off his shirt and he's all fucking ripped and shit.
Yeah, he'd show up with a bunch of the people like, all right, where is he? Where is he? Where is that son of a... And then he would just fall to the ground. No one would hear the bullet. I'd be like, got him, and that would be it. He's another director that needs to be fucking killed. Any director that... Here's my opinion. Any director that is not trying to get the best movie of the year, any director that is not trying to make a #1 flick is not worth the time. I grew up in a time where it was dirty. It was violent. The directors would sit there and they would talk shit about each other because they had such good movies. That they would try to bribe the nominees to not even show up so they could get it by default. And nowadays, it's just like... It's just another excuse for people to come and dress like fucking chickens and shit. No one cares if they make a good movie anymore. They just want money.
That's not a nice thing to say about Miss Gaga.
So,
Showing up in the meat suit and the egg.
I need to stop coming up with ideas here.
Yeah, seriously, because you are not good. You didn't do any kind of background checks or anything, did you?
Nope.
It's okay, Sub. When I go into random tangents, you know, when I talk about these other movies that come to mind, I wish I could have had Google at my
3 hours last night I spent looking up movies.
Oh.
I did background checks, I did research, I looked them up on multiple channels to see what their ratings were. I even watched a few of them, like if they were part of like Nostalgia Critic or one of those groups. I watched theirs to see how it panned out. That's what I did.
I don't know.
How are you doing?
I would have felt like watching the...
Is the Apprentice the one where Nicolas Cage is the fucking...
You're talking about the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Oh my god.
With Nicolas Cage.
I think I tried to forget that movie even existed.
Oh, I tried to give my powers to an inappropriate kid who had a weird scream that just went...
My god. That was so bad. That movie was so bad.
I was facing off against Morgan Le Fay.
That and what was the Vampire's Apprentice or something like that? With what's his name? The guy with the freaky hair.
His name was Anti-Dracula.
That was another bad one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of us have tried to touch the Twilight series. Honestly, I'm surprised none of us have jumped on that one yet.
Hey, we're getting
well,
there.
quit mentioning other movies, god damn it! One movie!
Then Nick, one movie!
Well,
Twilight.
you didn't explain why he ate it.
Because, let's put it this way, Nicolas Cage needs to get more faces than the same one that he's had for how long.
What about the cartoony Ghost Rider?
The first one, good. Second one...
What are you talking about? In Ghost Rider, he had his regular face on. They just took the makeup off. When he was making all those faces, that was just the makeup coming off. That's what he really looks like underneath, you know?
But the second one was horrible, to my opinion, on Ghost Rider, though.
Right. Well, I mean, no offense to Cage himself, but he doesn't exactly have a wide spectrum of what I'd like to call personality.
That's the main problem.
That's his personality in every fucking movie he's in.
Oh man, don't you make me angry.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like me when I'm...
Every movie he's in, it's that. We could make an entire series on the worst actors and actresses too. I mean, we could do that. But I mean, I understand where you're coming from. It was just a bad idea for a bad movie. It didn't do well at all.
He played video games all night. Well, you've been running out.
Thanks!
You have been shunned! Shun him, everybody! Shun! Shun!
That's not very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
We're not talking about Crocodile Dundee here.
Not yet.
Necro, bad movie.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Surf to Freak, the vampire's assistant.
Okay, so that's what it was called.
Yes.
Oh my god, well,
And
that's another horrible
it's
movie.
Personally, because I read the books, and It's a fatal flaw what they've been trying to do with movies that are based off of books. Now, like, obviously Star Wars and Lord of the Rings got this right, but some movies like The Sorcerer's Apprentice and Cirque du Freak, the Vampire's Assistant, did not, because what they did was try and cram a 7-book novel into 2 hours.
Right, and I fully agree. I think that's the flaw they had with Dragon Ball Evolution as well.
Exactly.
Now, Sub, I have to give you a warning. When we begin bad talking Twilight, you are no longer allowed to talk.
Why? I hate Twilight too.
Well, according to this, if he bad talks Twilight, he sleeps on the couch.
I mean, I like Twilight. Yeah. Wait, you ain't gonna make me sleep on the couch.
Cirque du Freak, yeah, that was a bad one, though. That was all around bad, though. I didn't read the books, and I thought it was stupid.
I mean, they got some of the major concepts from the books, but they missed out on so much as well.
What about how stupid the fight scenes were?
Well, yeah.
They looked like the Tasmanian devil was just spinning around the room.
I agree with you. And she loves you.
All they needed was some guy to pop out going, yeah, after the spin. It would have been perfect.
That's like Kyle when he finds out that Michael Bay's making another movie.
Yeah, I start spinning out, start hammering things. That wall's been replastered like 30 times. I just keep drilling through it. Okay, Brandon, you're up again, Rhodey.
Oh, okay. Well, since he's not willing to step onto this territory, I'm not afraid of my girl, so I'm gonna say it right now. And I'm gonna text her.
Say it first. Say it first, man. Say it. Let me hear it.
Twilight.
Which one or all of them?
I'll start with the first one because I'll be fair. I've only seen the first one.
All right. To be honest with you, I have never seen a more dry, emotionless movie in my life.
I agree.
The only person who showed any emotions in the entire movie was the father, and he's not even the main point of the movie.
Yep.
All right, and the funny thing is, I found out that this bitch, the bitch that plays the main bitch, she apparently had another movie earlier when she was young. She was just a young kid. Same fucking premise where there's 2 fucking other guy kids all fucking, battling over her. And I had to have my niece point it out to me because I was watching it. And I was like, why does this bitch look familiar? And my niece goes, that's the girl from Twilight. And I go, fuck that bitch. It's the same fucking goddamn movie. It's a different fucking movie. And it's still 2 guys fighting over this dumb bland bitch.
For the longest time, I thought I was watching that zombie movie, the one where he starts coming back to life. That was another dry, emotionless movie, but they were meant to be zombies.
Here's my thing. If you want to sell me on a love triangle, like, I have nothing against it was vampires or werewolf. I don't really care. I'll go and see a vampire werewolf.
But it wasn't vampires and werewolves.
Exactly.
It was vampires and skin dancers. The
Exactly.
Native American version.
Exactly. So, well, I'm just saying, like, the characters, man, you gotta have fucking characters. Give your characters fucking character. Give me a reason to like this bitch too. Even if she didn't even have any like physical appeal either.
Yeah, she's not even a physically attractive actress. I mean, she's plain.
But I guess that's the thing though. That's the thing why his girlfriend likes it because she's so generic and plain that she's literally just meant to be a self-insert. Like of whoever.
You put yourself here.
Put yourself here. This is you. You're not saying that you're bland. You're not saying whatever. It's just this is you, bitch. Like, give her whatever personality you want. Give her your personality. What would you like? Would you hop Edwards or would you hop Jacobs?
Well,
I just love the other thing though that I did like.
Door slammed. Just door slammed.
All right, though, was the one where like I forget, was it the 4th one or the 3rd one?
There were only 3.
There was only 3. Well, it was the 3rd one where they had the big war, and one of the fucking vampires was apparently the Avatar from the last Airbender, where he was able to split open the fucking ground, and then like the head vampire's like, I want to see the little monster, and then he sees him, and he's like, ah! That little fucking, that was the best. Oh, and they had the CGI, the fucking the other funny part, they had to CGI the baby's fucking face to make it look like Bella and Edward. That was hilarious. You can even tell too, because the fucking kid had little fucking alien buggy eyes, and it's just like, what the fuck? I know you edit that fucking goddamn baby. You couldn't find a fucking baby to look like the because you can't find a bland baby.
That was. I think they could have found a better Bella, but other than that, I love the movie.
They could have found a better everyone.
No, the whole movie shouldn't have been about Edward. You know who it should have been about? The Avatar vampire.
No.
The fucking Avatar vampire.
Because in 1971, a D&D adventure was released about a young moon elf that was caught between high elves and dark elves, and the story reads almost word for word like this bitch is writing. It was a D&D adventure.
Well, yeah, she, they said that she plagiarized the idea from something.
Plagiarized the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But at least in a D&D adventure, it sounded badass. No one in that movie had any fucking emotion. There was no character development. This is Werewolf A. This is Werewolf B. This is Werewolf C. You don't even have to give them names.
But
they just walk around without shirts. That's what they fucking did.
The thing of it is this. From a fan service point of view, I don't care about it. Because it's not meant for me. It was meant for, obviously a different audience. Okay?
Yes,
and from that point of view, I don't really care about it. And you know what? I felt like this bit that the person who wrote it, I keep forgetting her name.
Ignore it. It doesn't matter. She's not even a writer.
She should have just if you're gonna make a romantic movie, again, like I said, just make it a romance movie. But then it was just like, no, but like now we're gonna include action in it, and it's just like, well, no, because you're not going to just stick with romance. You could have just improved upon that. You didn't have to go into like superpowers, or you didn't have to have, because I see in like the like I said in the third one, where she tried to have the huge fight scene. Okay, well, what's this huge fight? Well, we're just gonna give them all different powers. Well, why can't the other one just affect the bland bitch? Never explains it.
Rebel Vanny goes Team Edward. I say Team Van Helsing.
And that's the other interesting thing. If you're going to
okay, strangle him.
What's the where's the where are the vampire hunters? Where's the werewolf hunters?
They don't exist because they were never in the book. They were never in the original book, so she never added them.
Should have.
Exactly, and it could have made a better fucking movie.
Okay, before you go and slam the door on Nick's face for the fourth time, Nick, what were you trying to say?
Okay, Nick, let's hear it.
It goes off of the whole Team Edward thing that she put there. Okay, first off, you're stupid for going for fucking fake-ass vampires that don't even have any fucking actual superpowers that are based off of real vampires that have been written so many times in the past that they fucked up in this movie.
But they were trying something new!
Yeah, they fucked them up, and they've made them a fucking disgrace.
But they sparkled! But they sparkled!
I actually...
Yeah, first off, go with fucking Bram Stoker's fucking movie / novel.
But they don't sparkle!
Exactly, because they never even fucking had any problems with daylight other than, hey, it's brighter.
You know what does sparkle though?
Fucking faggots!
High elves sparkle in sunlight.
Thank you for my rant. Thanks for not slamming the door in my face.
I was the only one who didn't have a problem with them sparkling. I didn't care about them sparkling.
Because they were high elves.
Because they were meant to be fucking pretty boys, okay? Whatever. I don't give a shit.
They were high elves.
They were just high elves. They weren't fucking vampires.
I'm team Jacob anyway. Because Shark Boy.
I'm Team Van Helsing. I say kill them all.
I say get rid of that disgrace of a fucking movie.
Team Blade. Let's do this. Bella ain't having any kids tonight. But I'm ready to throw a bad movie out that I think that collectively I think we could all agree on it. Now, it's stepping into the trope of being a video game movie. It was called House of the Dead. I know you saw it because you came with me. Nothing's better than the girl who jumps up into midair leaps like 15 feet into the air with a shotgun, slow motion, full 360-degree revolution, and then she shoots the zombie.
I don't think there was a need for that.
That the whole movie was just horrible. It was once again a movie where they put House of the Dead as the title, but added none of the story.
I'll never be a newer. What?
She said, "I'll never be emo vampire." Lots of laughs. Key of awesome. Lots of laughs. What?
Are you high?
Sub, I think she found something.
Did you say key of awesome?
Yeah, she said key of awesome. LOL. I'll never be.
Oh, she's quoting key of awesome. That's a YouTube channel.
All right. Well, never heard of it, but we'll have to look it up one of these days.
Yep. Sorry.
Now, of course, I could put this slot in at any movie based on a video game. I could. However, there is one that I will argue against not being complete shit. The very first Resident Evil movie.
Yes.
It had its flaws.
Yeah.
I'll admit it. It had a lot of flaws. Like, here come 10 fully armed soldiers, each one of them armed with submachine guns, each one holding no less than 30 rounds, each one of them having no less than 5 clips. The equivalent of 150 rounds. There were a grand total of 300 scientists and personnel inside that building. That means that 2 of them with full armed weaponry should be enough to take down every one of those zombies.
Yep.
There were 10 of them! Well, sorry, there were 8 and then there were the 2
And
people.
mind you, if they were trying to base it off the first...
Well, they were kind of they're basing it off of like the middle ground. It wasn't quite the mansion. It was inside the city.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
It started in the mansion,
But
then,
after that, when they started introducing characters that actually existed in the video game series, and just fucking over everything, that's where it went downhill.
yeah.
Mario Brothers having almost nothing to do with Mario Brothers. Final Fantasy films having almost nothing to do with Final Fantasy.
Except for avid children.
Well, I hold that into a different category. That's an anime. But I mean, like, each one of these video games, there has not been an actual high-rank, good movie. I mean, I wanted to, but I never even saw the Assassin's Creed movie.
Still want to.
I was told it was complete and utter garbage, but I still want to see it.
Yeah, my friend went because he's a huge Assassin's Creed fan. He went to go see it. He was really disappointed with it. And I mean huge. He's huge into Assassin's Creed. Like, he read the books, played all the fucking games, played all the other fucking side games, read all the little mini-series and shit. And he went into it with like high expectations from this fucking movie.
And there weren't any. And the reason he
But
went...
there was one short film that was good. Assassin's Creed otherwise, but I'll tell you that later.
It's the same story over and over again, and Hollywood is very guilty of it right now. It's the remake syndrome. We're going to remake this movie, but insert random stupid phrase in here, like, we're going to make it better, or we're going to make it closer to the book, or etc., etc., etc. The new Stephen King's It sucked. I don't care how much money it made. It sucked. They're trying to explain to me that this hideously, obviously terrifying clown is supposed to be the same clown from the original series.
Is she saying pixels?
Pickaxles sucked.
Pixels.
It says pickaxles.
Pickaxles.
Pixels.
Pixels?
Adam Sandler.
You think that
Pixels.
sucked?
Pixels was a great movie.
I know, right?
Fuck. Are you high?
Well,
I think she did get something.
but you gotta understand, she likes Twilight, so we can't even judge her.
True. And, never mind, you're out of the conversation.
Yeah, we can't judge any movie off of you because you said you like Twilight. I'm sorry. And look at all the remakes that have come out. The new Freddy Krueger movie, it sucked.
Yeah.
New Friday the 13th movie, sucked. New Halloween, sucked. They were all remakes. How about personal favorite one? Ready? Who grew up watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
I did.
Charlie
Who saw it?
and
Who saw that? Everybody? Everyone saw that? How did you like that movie? Was that a good movie?
Yeah,
Loved it.
Would you have loved to go through that factory?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they remade it to be closer to the book. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Anybody want to go near that factory?
No.
Anyone thought that was a good fucking movie?
Yeah, actually, I do. Me and you, we'll go close to it. With RPG, several flames.
Enough explosives to
Yeah.
take the entire place down. We're going to free the Oompa Loompas.
I just want to see the tunnel.
What?
I just want to go through the hell tunnel.
Well, Victoria's back and she's not sure if she spelled it right. What she did not, if you're spelling pixels.
I mean, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. When I was growing up really young, I'm talking really young, we didn't have cable. We only had the antenna, the rabbit ears.
Right.
This, kids, you don't understand how good you have it. We didn't even have a remote control.
Nope. Yeah.
We had to get up and click channels. That's. I'm an old bastard. Don't let me
And
fool you.
Victoria, I did love you. I mentioned that you're back.
Yeah, we mentioned it a lot. We all say we love you. But anyways, there was an old Western cowboy hero, also known as the Duke himself. Anyone know who I'm talking about?
Yep. John Wayne.
Thank you. John Wayne. He made a movie called True Grit, which, by the way, was badass. Of course, every movie he made was badass.
I believe that might have been directed to me, that comment.
Go fack off. I'm sorry, but if you liked, if you like that movie, we can't judge you on that anymore. But anyway, so they tried to remake it, but they tried to make it closer to the book. Everyone who went into the audience didn't go to see how it was changed. Everybody went to go see True Grit, John Wayne.
Yes, and everything.
We walked out of it. My one friend, who he sees himself as a critic, I'm not giving any names out, but he's a lawyer. He was sitting there going, well, you gotta understand it was based off the book. I go, listen, it sucked because I saw the original and it was nothing like that. And the one guy who was standing behind me goes, yeah, go put yourself back in college, short guy. We all thought it sucked. And there were people going up and demanding their money back from it.
Okay. First off, Rebel, there's other movies that Johnny Depp's in, so why the hell would you want to go into that fucking...
Yeah, seriously, go in Pirates of the Caribbean.
And thank you, Victoria.
Go to Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a much better movie series.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, hell, going to Blow, you could even make some major money off of that shit.
And now I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring up the movie. I'm going to do it myself so you guys don't have to worry about it. That will automatically make me against feminists, against females actresses, and against changing storylines. I'm going to go and take the one movie that was so hard for critics to put down, and I'm going to shove it into the drain where it belongs. We're going to talk about the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh.
I used to think I ain't afraid of no ghosts was a slogan. The truth is, I am afraid of ghosts. This new movie. The movie was horrible.
I didn't get the chance to watch it.
Don't! Nothing made sense. It was a bad movie from the start.
From the start?
From the start. From the very beginning. Within the first 20 minutes of the movie where the first ghost starts showing up. It was stupid. It had nothing to do with the actresses. The actresses were great. I'd love to see them in other movies where they weren't being sucky characters. But the storyline, horrible. The ideas on how all this information was granted, how they built all the technology and everything, horrible. They borrowed and or stole it. The fact that there's a girl walking around with super advanced technology that fires out photons and she's licking the barrels of this gun. In case people don't know, photons don't fucking work like that! They don't! They travel through metal and other objects. So if you are licking a gun that is supposed to fire photons, you will be licking photons and your face will melt off.
How about Crybaby?
We're not talking about Twilight! Damn it! Get your mind out of the freaking movie!
No, I've seen Crybaby.
So have I, so Twilight. Anyway.
I was gonna say, another movie I would like to throw out there, Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah.
The live-action ones?
Yeah.
No.
God damn, did they fucking blow.
Let's not even go into
The
that.
Scooby-Doo movies were an attempt at doing something that is very, very hard to do. This is what I'm going to throw out there. It was an attempt at making a movie. This goes back to all kinds of other movies, like superhero movies and everything like that. It was an attempt to create a movie that was acceptable to all audiences. Not what it should have been aimed for, which should have been kids and people who were born in the 80s and 70s. You notice there was...
early 90s.
Shut up. You know, there was pot smoking jokes in it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sure, there were hints at it in Scooby-Doo, the cartoon, but pot jokes, sex jokes.
She stopped watching after 10 minutes. That's okay.
Probably makes sense with Crybaby. You know, this is a movie series. I mean, let's face facts. It's not like Scooby-Doo has not ever made an actual movie. They probably have like 50 of them. I know they have one with Kiss in it.
Yeah.
Okay, Scooby-Doo meets Kiss or something like that. They have one with the Harlem Globetrotters in it.
But they were all animated ones, so
Right.
they were actually not bad.
But they were all successful as well.
Yes.
So what did they have? What was their winning score? What did they do? They didn't gerrymandered to other people. They didn't try to make it a movie for teenagers. They tried to make it a movie for the people who watch the cartoon series and kids. And they all succeeded. But then they brought out live-action Scooby-Doo. And they tried to do that again. And unfortunately, that's where they shot wrong. Same thing with DC and Marvel movies. Same thing with movies that have anything to do with any kind of sexuality that's not supposed to be in the original series. Deadpool, for instance. Yes, Deadpool has had many a lover. He has. I'm not saying Deadpool's a bad movie at all. It's great. But whatever happened to Dr. Killjoy? Oh, we couldn't put him into the story because we ran out of time with the Vanessa love story with Deadpool. So you took the most important part out of his storyline, threw the assistant in as the main villain, and then gave him powers that he never had before so he could be a challenge to Deadpool. Well, we had to make sure that everybody would enjoy the movie. No, you didn't. You didn't have to do that.
Nope.
You didn't have to do that at all. You could have made a movie that was just aimed towards the people who were going to see the movie. That's what it was. And lots of these movies are guilty of it. I'm going to throw one more out there and I'm going to pass it on to you.
Well, actually, it's almost an hour that we've gone.
Actually, it's been over an hour if you want to be technical.
So you probably should shut it down soon.
Fine, fine. Nick's getting tired, so we'll shut it down after this. Nick's got to be the whiny boy. Anyway, has anyone seen his green hair yet? Get over here. Get over here. Get over here. Let's see if we can show the green hair.
I
Yeah,
kind of see it.
that's actually green hair. That's not the lens filter. That's actually green hair.
Yeah.
He's got green hair. I was supposed to have purple. In fact, here it is right here. Here's the purple. Here's the purple stuff right here. See? Ooh, from Spirit Halloween, purple. But we kind of ran out of time because we were too busy playing Temple and Terrace Town and Melon Bomber.
Yeah.
But as you all know, hence by the title Kaiju K, I am a huge fan of kaiju movies. And to be honest with you, I've not seen many kaiju movies that have been bad, with the exception of
Godzilla.
the first attempt at America to make a Godzilla movie, aka Zilla in New York, which made I remind you that Toho Studios bought the rights to him simply so the real Godzilla could bitch slap him and then kill him. Tokyo SOS. He showed up, he was in for about 6 seconds. He jumped at the real Godzilla. The real Godzilla knocked his ass into an amphitheater and then barbecued his ass.
Yep.
That's how bad the movie was that Toho just wanted to get it so they could get rid of him. But no. Even that movie had a lot of fun and exciting scenes. I'm going to be kind of curious with you. I don't know how a, 100-plus foot long lizard could duck underneath helicopters and then somehow not notice him.
Yeah.
I can understand him bursting through the fucking building at them. That would have scared the crap out of me. But to jump up and eat the helicopter? No. But there were some funny scenes in that movie. But then there was the new Godzilla.
That's
Was-
what I meant.
Was it 2015 or 2016? Was it last year, I think?
I think it was last year.
Yeah, 2016. Godzilla 2016. And what it was the idea was that Godzilla is awake and he's chasing after these two radioactive hump babies, which is what they are basically. They're just out the fuck. That's the whole storyline. It's a male and a female that they want to have babies. Whoa, natural selection. Godzilla shows up in this hour and 57-minute movie for a grand total of 12 minutes. Godzilla is in his own movie for less than a tenth of the movie, less than a 20th of the movie. He's in for 12 minutes total. And in those 12 minutes, he's only doing action scenes for about 6 of them.
No.
Yes, they should have changed the title of the movie to what it was. It was, This Man Has Had the Worst Week of His Fucking Life, and Godzilla. Because it was all about one guy who had to go back to Japan to bail his father out. By the way, none of them are Japanese. All Americans. They have, just so they can have nothing to do with the actual movie. Go over to there. Then his father dies. Oh, spoiler alert, people. It's going to be a spoilers. So then he's shipped to Hawaii to go back home. The aliens and Godzilla show up and tear that shit place apart. Then he gets sent to California, where he's automatically sent back into the military unit, where he's on a train, which gets attacked again. He's left in the dirt again. Then he's got to go fly and find out where this thing is. dig his way through a fight scene, blow up all the monsters' eggs, then almost get barbecued, and then get saved at the last minute by Godzilla.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say goodbye to the folks.
That's fine. We understand. You want this? You just want this whole thing to end. We're cool with it.
Goodbye.
Bye, Necro.
Face over here.
You want to leave this so bad? Okay. Bye, Necro.
I don't want to. It's just I really gotta go.
Well, folks, just like Godzilla left, I hope that script never comes back from anyone but Toho Films. Necro has left, and so will we. So, folks, next time... Oh, no, Vanity, I'm not going to dye my hair now. It's too late at night. I'm going to be going to bed soon anyway. So, anyways, folks, next time, who knows? We might have something in the middle of the week. We might not, but we'll talk it over to the guys. We'll see what we're going to do. But I will tell you this much. In 2 weeks, we have quite a project set up for you guys. And we're hoping you guys will be ready for it. So, until next time, I'm Kaiju K.
I'm Subliminal.
Roadblock.
It's Cody over on the chair over there. We're going to say peace out, everybody.
Peace.